All right, guys, welcome to this episode of Maksim Outdoors. This week we are climbing to the tallest peak in the Tucson Mountains here in Saguaro National Park. So stay tuned. It's going to be a good one. Lots of elevation gain, and yeah, what else? Stay tuned. All right, guys, we are back here, day 2 at Saguaro National Park, here out in the Sonoran Desert. And we did probably one of the easiest trails yesterday in the park. And today we are going to be attempting to tackle one of the hardest trails in the park. If all goes well, we will be standing on top of this mountain, the largest mountain in, I believe it's the Tucson Mountain range. So, yeah, so anyway, we are here in Saguaro. If you didn't watch last week's episode, Saguaro is split into 2 separate parks, the western region and the eastern region. Right now we are in the Western Mountain District. So we're going to be doing the Sendero Esperanza Trail and heading all the way up to Wasson Peak at 4,687 feet. Like I said, it's this one here. So yeah, beautiful morning. It's around 50 degrees here in mid-January, and you can't really beat it. Sun just rose. We got Ringo, the Wrangler over there. Sam's getting ready, and what a beautiful national park, and what a great way to start off Maksim Outdoors National Park adventures. Setting up a little time lapse, but we're gonna hit the trail here around 8 o'clock. We got a couple time restraints. We have to be in Sedona by 6 or 7 tonight. So if worse comes to worse, we're going to try to get up on the ridge there and then turn around. But the plan is to get to the peak, but we'll see. it. So we made it to our first little trail intersection here after point 7. Still on the Sendero Esperanza Trail, which apparently means hope in Spanish. And you could see Mount Wasson in the foreground there. We're going to keep heading up here and eventually link up with another trail and start gaining some elevation here shortly. It's pretty windy. The sun is starting to come out. I was watching it come down this hill here, but it's definitely starting to warm up now. Probably going to be losing this jacket here in a little bit, but some really awesome views of a bunch of different varieties of cacti in the area. Got the prickly pear, saguaro, some cholla, I think it's called, all over the place here. But a little interesting fact about the saguaro is it takes 100 years for them to grow one of these arms. So every single one of these saguaro cacti that you see with an arm has been here for 100 years at least. And I was also reading they live to be over 200 years old. I think I said 150 yesterday, but I was reading last night, they said they can grow to be over 200 years old. And I think they hold about 200 gallons of water. They obviously have the spines on them to keep animals away from eating them and getting their water. But yeah, I mean, it gets pretty hot out here in the summertime. I can't imagine doing this hike in July. I think it gets up to like 120, but if you can believe it, very rarely these mountains out here get covered in snow. Not today. So gonna keep on heading up this trail and eventually link up with, I think it's called like the Morris Trail, right? Hugh Norris. So we got another, I think, mile on this trail. So we linked up with the Hugh Norris. From the start of the trail was 3.9 to the summit of the mountain. So yeah, I think we're making pretty good time. We're almost a mile in now, so. What?
Check you out.
I don't know how well you could see it on camera, but we're about 2 miles into the trail now, and there's a little glimmer right where the shadow meets the sun, but that's the Jeep. That's where we parked at. So gives you a good idea how far we really came so far. Gives you a good idea how far not even 2 miles actually is. So, and another look at Wasson Peak there. It's starting to get hit by sunlight now too, so probably be a little bit warmer up there right now than where we are, but we're getting there. Probably only another couple hundred feet away from what was it, the Hugh Norris Trail, right?
Yeah.
So we'll update you when we get there. Take a little water break. Alrighty, well, was not expecting this kind of view up here, but we're literally on the spine of the Tucson Mountains right now, about halfway to Wasson Peak. Let's see what the sign says here. Wasson Peak, sorry, I said Wasso. So we got another 2.2 miles until we get there. And yeah, making really good time. It's not even 9 yet. We started around 8, but yeah, check these views out. The Jeep's way down there. I know I said that before. Some awesome views. Wish I knew a little bit more about the mountains around here, but you could probably even get a decent view of Tucson out there in the distance somewhere, and all these awesome saguaro cacti that we've been hiking around. And you can actually see some different species of vegetation the higher you get here. When we started, I didn't notice any yucca plants, but the higher we got on this mountain, the higher and higher I've noticed more and more yucca, although I don't see any right now. But yeah, what a hike. And we're gonna be heading this way, obviously, and guessing hiking up this ridge here, which looks like it's gonna suck, and then up and over, and we'll be done. So our goal is to make it to the peak by 12. It's only 9 now. We got another 2 miles, so think we'll be all right, knock on wood. Here's a few of those yucca plants here that I was talking about earlier, or at least that's what I'm calling them. Pretty sure they're yucca, but we didn't see any down below where we started the trail, so obviously they have something to do with elevation, I'm guessing, or maybe the amount of sunlight they get. But upon coming to Arizona, this is probably my 4th or 5th trip in the state, but I was pretty amazed at how diverse the wildlife is in this area. I was talking to a guy a couple of nights ago, and he told me about this creature I've never heard of called a catamundi or a catamundi, and it kind of looks like a cross between a raccoon and a skunk and a cat all had a baby. So pretty interesting. There's javelina in this area, which are kind of like wild pigs, I guess you could call them. I guess a lot of people hunt them. They can be kind of aggressive. Bobcat, mountain lion, mule deer, and did not know that there are white-tailed deer in this area as well. And that same gentleman told me that mule deer and whitetail actually can breed out here, which I never knew that either. So pretty crazy. I've been out here that many times and did not know how crazy the wildlife is out here. I mean, I knew there was bobcat and mountain lions, but no clue what a catamundi was until a couple days ago. So it looks like we're gonna have sun pretty much for the rest of the hike today. There's a good view of Wasson Peak there. Probably only got another around a mile left, I'd say. So already talked a little bit about the saguaro, talked about the wildlife. So let's talk a little bit about Saguaro National Park. So in terms of national parks, this is a pretty newer national park. It was actually established in 1994, around the same time that they decided to make Death Valley and Joshua Tree a national park as well. Although this was considered a national monument, I believe in the 1930s, 1933. I think I could be wrong about that. So it waited a while until it got designated a national park, and I'm sure it brought a lot of tourism and money to the Tucson area. And speaking of Tucson, this park is just about 30 minutes outside of downtown Tucson. So it's a nice little hub if you want to come and experience both sides of the park. Another little thing is this park is 90,000 acres. So pretty decent size park here, obviously, compared to some of the state parks I've done back in PA that are, you know, a couple hundred acres. 90,000 is a lot. So another look at Wasson Peak there, and made it to another one of these ridge lines here. Nice views, lots of saguaros, and yeah, gonna keep on heading up, getting closer to the airplanes the higher we get here too. I actually just remembered another saguaro fact as I'm watching these cacti get whipped around in the wind. Believe it or not, the root system for these cactus supposedly only goes down 4 to 5 inches which that got me thinking after watching the wind hit these guys. It's pretty incredible that they can stand through that. But the root system extends usually as long as they are. So this one I'm looking at here is probably about 20 feet. So you figure the root system is all the way over where my feet are. So 4 to 5 inches down, and the root system extends as long as they are. So another little fun fact about saguaro here in Saguaro National Park. And there you have it, Wasson Peak. What an incredible view this is. This is actually the first time on the trail that we've been on the opposite side of the mountain. So you can see another trail cutting through over there, but this might be the nicest view of the trail so far. All right, the peak is so close we could taste it here. Mount Wasson here in the foreground. You can see the switchbacks heading up. I believe we're probably only a half a mile away from the peak, and I'm sure it won't be windy at the top, judging by the 50 mile wind gusts we're getting down here. So definitely warming up. Feels like it's probably 60 if it wasn't so windy, but some incredible views still the higher and higher we get up here into the Tucson Mountains here in the Sonoran Desert. Oh wow, did you see that? It was like a peregrine falcon. There's actually a nest right there. See where all the bird poop is? That's pretty cool. Yeah, so we found a little, I believe it's a peregrine falcon nest here. I could be wrong, but some kind of nest. You could obviously see all the white poop there on the black and green giant boulder, but as I was coming around the corner, it flew out and flew around that corner there. So we won't bother it, but pretty cool. Say I'll have to go back and look at the footage, but it looked like a peregrine falcon. I think that's the fastest animal on the planet. There we got our first view of Tucson there, way in the distance, probably a good 15 miles away from where we are. And awesome view of Wasson Peak. We're in the last 0.3 miles of this trail here. You can see the Jeep way down there. Be nice if we had a zip line right now. Just kidding, I wouldn't do that. Like, look how close the planes are to us right now. Wave at them. You see that bird? That might be one of those peregrine falcons right there. There's a bird literally just hovering there. Unless it's a drone, but yeah, it's fine. I don't know what that is. Might be the falcon that we kicked out of its nest. Yeah, that was pretty cool. He was just hovering there. All right, yeah, but anyway, got 0.3 miles left here until we can say we climbed to the top of the highest peak on the Tucson mountain range. Just about there. Obviously, you can see Tucson there in the distance. Pima Air Force Base somewhere out there. Might be that over there, as well as the boneyard with all the old Cold War, World War II airplanes. And then I believe this is looking north this way. But yeah, all kinds of awesome views. Doing a couple time lapses up here, even though there isn't much cloud cover. Probably not gonna get that great of a time lapse up here. But if you go over here, you can actually see where the highest point is of the geographical marker here, right there. So yeah, climbed to the tallest peak in the Tucson Mountain range here. Pretty cool. You can see all the trails and switchbacks coming up there. We were just down there a couple minutes ago. That's where that peregrine falcon nest was. So yeah, wasn't that bad of a trail. 3.9 coming up. I think there's 3 different ways to get up here. We chose the easiest route just because we had some time constraints and whatnot. We got to be in Sedona by 6 o'clock today, so we made it work. I thought it was going to be, honestly, I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult than this. It wasn't that bad at all. And yeah. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up this video on top of Wasson Peak here. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed my little day trip here to Saguaro National Park. It was a good start for the channel. First national park for Maksim Outdoors. So as always, don't forget to like,
comment,
subscribe to the channel.
check us out on Instagram at Maksim Outdoors.
Woo! See you next week from Arizona. The little, what we're calling peregrine falcons, at least. God damn it. All right, guys. It's killing me. This is why I hike alone. Look at that mountain you climbed. What a wonderful view. I'll be your huckleberry.